What's going on, everybody? Zelda Religionist here for another episode, and believe it or not, I actually have a new entry today. So let's get started. If they made a Zelda game about the Great Flood, what would happen throughout the story of the game? Now, I'm just going to say something because I know all Zelda fans, for the most part, have played Ocarina of Time. So let's take a moment to think about what happens at the ending. You defeat Ganon, as per most Zelda games that have Ganon in them. So after you defeat Ganon, it shows Link and Zelda having a conversation about how things could have been different, how she was sorry she pulled Link into all of this. And she asks for the Ocarina of Time. Link gives it to her. She sends Link back in time to his childhood 7 years ago. And then whenever Link puts in the Master Sword, he goes to inform Zelda and the King in the past about Ganondorf's plans. Well, doing that doesn't make the future erase and start over. That's still happening alongside Link in the past. Whenever adult Zelda sends Link back in time at the end of the game, she has to continue on her life from that point. She's got to try to rebuild Hyrule and try to restore what Ganondorf has done. And many years later, we get to Wind Waker, and we know that Hyrule is flooded at this point. So what's the details that happened in between there? Like, what's the story? Nobody knows for sure. We know a few of the fine details that we get in Wind Waker, but like, what leads up to these? So Nintendo, listen up. Here is my pitch for your next Zelda game. The Story of the Great Flood. Working title if you want to change it to something else, like Tale of the Great Flood, the Goddess's Decision, I don't know. But here's what I want to see happen. It picks up right at the end of Ocarina of Time. And it won't have to do a recap, like all the true Zelda fans will know exactly what's happening at the start of the game. And it doesn't have to be exactly Ocarina of Time's graphic style, because let's face it, that was 64. We are way ahead of that now, so like I want the style, but of course it's gonna look a lot nicer this day and age. So let's say we'll use the engine for the 3DS remake of Ocarina of Time, but preferably on the Switch or the next console after that. So it shows Link and Zelda talking after Ganon's defeat. She sends Link back in time, but we don't see Link come through the portal and put the Master Sword in like we do in Ocarina. We stay in adult Zelda's perspective. So she, with the Ocarina in hand, she says something Zelda-ish that she would say being the princess. And we don't have to see like the exact rebuilding of the castle and everything. Like, it could skip ahead a little bit and like just show in a montage of like how they're trying to adjust to the life now and trying to undo all of Ganon's wrongdoings. But then, maybe about a year or so, however long you want to set this, however long this part takes place, the seal on Ganondorf breaks open. He's back. And Zelda having to stop him, but gets like maybe knocked out or something. And Ganondorf goes, he makes his tower, and then you being Zelda, that would be the thing about this game. You would be playing as adult Zelda, because Link is nowhere around at this point. So Zelda, you'd have to play throughout the whole game, doing what she can to stop Ganondorf by herself, with no Link around. And you maybe have a couple dungeons, I don't know, traditional Zelda stuff, but you wouldn't have a lot of dungeons, because this would be a totally different type of Zelda game. And I wouldn't want to see the Master Sword make an appearance. I really wouldn't, because Link had it when he went back in time. He put it in the pedestal. Sure, that part could kind of maybe fix itself, and it would be in the present time at this game, and Zelda could try to pull the Master Sword up and use it herself, which would be badass. But I would like to see this sword make a return. Zelda's sword from Twilight Princess. I would want to see her wielding this sword in the game before the Great Flood happens, or the game The Great Flood happens. I want to see her go into Ganondorf's tower, like kicking all sorts of ass, and like have some sort of armor on or something, and then She gets to Ganondorf and she's just wielding this sword, trying to slash and dice him and everything. And then it would get knocked from her and she would die or something, I don't know. But not taken out in just like a lame way, like Ganondorf just throws something at her, blows her up, and she's dead. And no. I want to see her fall in battle one-on-one with Ganondorf. That would be awesome. And it'd be cool to see Sheik make a return. Like maybe she has to sneak into his tower or something, and then she dons her Sheik costume on again. A little bit different than Ocarina of Times. It would be a new suit or something. Or maybe she has to sneak into somewhere else and use her Sheik costume or her Sheik disguise and don it a couple times throughout the game. But mainly I want to see her tale after the end of Ocarina of Time. I want to see her and her struggle trying to rebuild what Ganon has done and try to take him on when he breaks out eventually. And then whenever she did fall at the end of the game, at that point, then Ganon would like be getting her Triforce of Wisdom or something. But then the gods would say, enough, we gotta take this guy out now. So then they flood Hyrule Kingdom, flood the whole world, and they choose their survivors of who they want, like we get in the opening of Ocarina, or like we get in the opening of Wind Waker, and then life goes on from there. A couple centuries later, Errol is looking for Link because it's his birthday, and then Errol gets kidnapped by the Helmasaur King, or the Helmarock King, and then he's got to go get his suit from Grandma and then set out with the pirates and go to Forsaken Fortress. And you know where I'm going with this. Wind Waker's taking place now, after the tale that we have heard leading up to the Great Flood. This needs to happen. It doesn't have to be my exact scenario. That's just my thoughts on how I think the story should go. But of course, there's going to be a lot more filler in there, more stuff to do. Like I said, there'd be a couple dungeons because that's traditional Zelda. But I wouldn't want the focus to be on dungeons. I would want like there to be a lot of stuff going on within the castle, and Ganon start growing some followers to deceive the Hyrule troop and stuff, and try to get close to Zelda, and then they try to assassinate her or something. Just some really good stuff. So that's my thoughts on this. I know most of you all would love to see this tale as well. So we need to start right now. If you have some close ties to Nintendo or can somehow get this video to Nintendo, send it to them. We got to get this idea to them so the next Zelda game, or in one of the next couple of Zelda games, will be The Tale of the Great Flood, or The Legend of Zelda, The Goddess's Decision, or something. Some really cool title to go with it. I don't know. I got nothing besides that. But let's make this happen. Let's get this tale into the next Zelda game. It'd be awesome. It would fill a really big not a plot hole. It would fill a really big section of the Zelda lore. So, I mean, let's do it. Let's get it to Nintendo. Somehow share it there. Put it on their Facebook page. Share it to their Twitter. Hack their network and get it onto their computer so someone there will see it. Send it to Enuma himself. Do something. Let's make this Zelda game happen. So until the next episode, this has been the Zelda Religionist, and I'm going to go try to find some Monstros to kill with this sword because I want to use this because this is a really fucking badass sword. So, take care everybody. I'm out.